Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us for a webinar day. Joining me today is Michelle Chesnut. Michelle is Director of Builder Services with NICE, formerly known as Nortek. Some of you may know Nortek was acquired by NICE. And today we're going to be talking about a really important topic of smart home technology. Since we have our expert on today, Michelle's going to be doing most of the talking, and we're going to talk about what is it that today's builders are interested in when it comes to smart home technology. What is builders' responsibility when it comes to providing necessary electrical plugins, etc., to make that all possible? And then we're going to talk about what Michelle recommends that you offer as a standard package and how we can personalize technology in our homes. Now, you may be thinking, this is not Michelle, this is Kristen Wiig, right? From Bridesmaids. And I am still convinced that it is Kristen Wiig. She just doesn't want to admit that her acting career is not going according to plan. So now she's working at NICE. We'll let Kristen pretend that she's really not Kristen. So for the time being, let's call her Michelle, shall we? Welcome, Michelle. Thank you so much for being here today. And if you guys don't know who I am, hi, my name is Anya Chrysanthon, and I am a Chief Communications Officer here at Anugo. So I'm really excited for our webinar today. Michelle, I'm going to let you kick things off for us here, and let's talk about what is it that home buyers actually looking for when it comes to smart home technology. We definitely know from all the studies from Zillow and other companies that buyers really want new home technology in their home. And it is one of the reasons why they want to buy new construction. And it's a great way to differentiate your new homes from used homes. So let's take a look at what are some of the most popular features.
Great. Thank you so much for having me, Anya. I love that you plugged the Kristen Wiig thing. I wish I was as funny as she is. But anyways, here I am. So yeah, let's get started. I feel like the best way to start talking about smart home technology in the builder space is by talking about what it is that consumers want. We have a lot of different data that we pool that talks about the top devices that home buyers are looking for or would love to have in their new homes and even expect, right? They're starting to expect to have these things in their new homes. This list shows it's ultimately a video doorbell, the smart light bulb, cameras, thermostats, smoke detectors and CO detectors, door locks, and then the smart plugs. So with that,
what are smart plugs?
That's like how you can automate different devices that are plugged in. So fun thing, a lot of people use them during Christmas time. So you can have your Christmas tree set on a timer, right? All from your smart, being able to set schedules and things. It's super convenient, adds a lot of convenience to the household. With that, we also have studies that show that US internet households now on average have 16 connected devices. That's a lot, right?
That is a lot. Yes.
And
So speaking of 16 connected devices, you guys, this morning I woke up to a complete snowpocalypse. Even though the groundhog told me that the winter is out and spring is here, not so much. So we got so much snow. Schools are all closed. We already lost internet connection once today. All of my children are here in the house. So if I suddenly go out, I'll try to come back in, but just fair warning. That's thanks to all the devices. We probably have full 16 devices on today.
You probably do, yeah. And what happens when you have these 16 connected devices is you end up having a smartphone that looks like this one. You have 16 different apps. Actually, I was meeting with the president of a somewhat small builder, and she lived in one of our homes. And we're talking about this, how there's different apps for all these different devices. And she showed me her phone of a home that she lived in, and there was 9 apps that all different apps. And I asked her, how often do you ever click on one of those apps? And she said, never. App fatigue is a thing. You're not going to get your phone out just for one app for your garage door, one app for your thermostat.
That is a big pain point for builders because, yeah, when you think about, okay, I know I need to offer smart home technology, doorbell and thermostat you're right. Everything is on its own app. Nothing's connected. Nothing's really talking to each other. So it's got
Yeah.
to be really challenging as a home builder to figure out what actually works together, which ones talk to each other, and how can it be a better experience for home buyers. And luckily, you guys have figured this out.
Yeah, we have actually. There's a couple few things that I see that really lead to a successful technology strategy for builders. And ultimately, starting with this, it's because I believe it to be one of the first things. So, having an extremely great user experience, it does start with the one app solution. So, making sure that no matter what solution it is that you choose to use, it ultimately can be controlled with one app. So that's obviously we went from 16 apps to one app. And now you can control your pool, your spa, your lighting, your video surveillance, your media, climate, everything, all right in one app, which is, again, the best user experience. So how do you get started as a builder? What is it that is your responsibility as a builder when it comes to building the home? And ultimately, it's always been the three pillars of the infrastructure. So your plumbing, your electrical, your HVAC, and then here we are at NICE trying to say you there's a fourth pillar here that's very important as well as you have younger generation buying homes. It doesn't even stay with just the younger generation. It's technology is a thing of the present and it's only growing towards the future and people want it. It's
With a
technology.
lot of older generations, you'd be surprised how many of them have the extra income, the disposable income to actually spend on all
Correct.
of those upgrades. So don't just think, oh, this is only for the younger people, but a lot of downsizers, baby boomers have the budget to implement all of this really cool tech in the home.
Yeah. And I see that Gen actually is more interested in entertainment. They want speakers throughout their house and they want to listen to music while they're cooking and things like that. So you're right. The take rate on those kind of packages is very high. So what is the technology infrastructure? So we like to say that as a builder, if you were to simply do these three things, which is to build out the technology infrastructure, it would be your wires to your key locations, which is not nearly as many wires as it used to be. Wireless has become a lot better and reliable, and it's utilized a lot from a lot of different integrators today. Having a strong Wi-Fi network, or at least making sure that the home is wired for Wi-Fi. Even me, when I purchased a new home 5 years ago, we both said, my husband and I were working from home pretty much all the time. We were like, we are not stepping foot in that house until I have the internet, right? Our lives like revolve around the internet now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
My parents are actually in Mexico right now, and they've been there for a week, and their biggest complaint has been the internet at the hotel stinks. So they
really.
can't wait to come home. So it just shows you how connected we are that even on vacation, my baby boomer parents
I love
can't live
it.
without internet. So
We need the internet. Yeah. So strong Wi-Fi network and then a future ready hub. So what this future ready hub is really is the hub that's going to connect all the devices that your home buyer chooses to put into the home with that one app solution. If you do as a builder these three things, we feel like you really are stepping up your game as far as your tech strategy and making sure that you have this technology plan in place.
mhm.
So with that being said, we really are very proud at NICE to be have a great builder program, and we feel like we are one of the only manufacturers who has a solution for all types of builders, whether you're a production, high volume builder, your custom luxury builder, multifamily. We really do have a solution for everything. So we can talk a little bit about what those solutions are now. So production, we look at this, it's our 2 gig, a nice brand. And the user interface is backed by alarm.com with this. They are absolutely elite in what they do as far as integration and the user experience with the app that buyers can customize their rules, their settings, their automations through the one app. It's very easy to use. And like I said, ultimately, it's extremely cost effective.
And I can imagine having one app if you go again on vacation and you're like, did I lock that door? Or did I leave the garage door open? Or did I turn on the lights or any of that? It's just such a convenient way to control your life essentially from one app.
It is. And not only that, you can set up automation. If I'm 20 miles outside of my home, make sure that the front door is locked, the garage door is shut, and my alarm system is armed. So then you don't even have to really second guess at this point because it's all automated. You're not having to push a button to make something happen, which is
Mhm.
great. Or even scenes, right? Like when I wake up and like morning scene, disarm my system. We're going to be opening and closing doors, letting the dog out, things like that. Turn the lights on bright. Even play music in your bedroom so that you can wake up on a good, happy
Make my
note.
coffee,
Yeah,
most
right. There's That's a
importantly.
thing too. That is a thing too. Yeah. Actually, my New York designer friends, if anyone's listening, they absolutely love that. Those automated coffee makers that notify them when the beans are low, and yeah, they're pretty fancy. So with this cost-effective 2 gig standard, we really encourage, again, builders, if you do the technology infrastructure, you've done the wires, you have the hub, and you're Wi-Fi ready, it's all great. But really, if you added just a couple few more parts that the consumers want, like a smart garage door, a video doorbell, you really are putting yourself in a step higher than most of the builders out there. So really making sure you're differentiating yourself by saying, I'm a 2024 builder and I'm going to provide what my consumers want. Smart
Yeah,
home.
and the thing is, some of these implementations are certainly possible after you move in. We see that a lot of used homes are using things like smart doorbell and some of those other automations. But I think the biggest thing that separates that experience from this is really that interconnectedness of all the devices, because again, if I'm adding smart doorbell, that's one app. If I'm adding security system after, it's a second app. So it's really difficult to get everything working if it's not truly connected from get-go. So this is where builders,
Correct.
as you're planning the layout of the home, you want to consider, where is the router connected? Do I need to add additional router or Wi-Fi amplification system so that that spot in the backyard where we all like to hang out in the summertime gets access to the internet? Because a lot of people are now, work from home. I love to sit outside, not on the snowy days, get some fresh air and do my work. So that's definitely something that is a huge benefit to buying a new construction, is because everything is behind the walls, behind the scenes, and connected.
Correct. Yeah, you said it very well. So we, as manufacturers, we love to be able to have some manufacturer oversight, working with the builders, getting the plans from the builders, and us starting to identify like how many wireless access points are actually needed in this home to make sure that the home operates flawlessly, seamlessly, right? Everything's integrated, everything's working. You're never having those circles of loading or anything like that because we really do properly plan. Just we build out that technology plan for that home. That's the best that there is. The main goal is for the buyer to absolutely love it and for the builder to get amazing reviews because of it, saying, I love my new home. It's so convenient. I feel safe. That's what we're looking for. With this one, so alarm.com again is who we utilize for the user interface for our cost effective model, the 2 gig. Alarm.com has a spectacular enterprise dashboard, so builders can obviously have all of their homes, whether it's model homes, inventory homes, all on this one dashboard where they can control the lights, the locks, the thermostat, the operational cost savings alone, being able to control these devices remotely and not have somebody running around with keys or running around to even show a property. You could actually create the opportunity to do self showings.
That's huge. One thing we didn't talk about here, but I wonder if it's something that you guys offer at Nice, is like a leak detection. Is that something that is a thing now?
Oh, absolutely. It's so important. That's as you're meeting with builders every day, like we do. So many of the builders are getting into the build for rent space. And
Mhm.
that's when they're extremely interested in making sure that they're protecting their assets, spotting that leak out right away, which actually I'll go into that shortly with the personalization packages.
Like the future of the home is, it's right here, and all the really cool things that are available now.
It's really endless. It's that's what's so fun about this is I still learn new things every single week in my job, which I love, right? Keeps it innovative and exciting and I never feel stagnant. And I was just listening to somebody this morning talking about how there's this huge population of home buyers that don't want kids anymore and they're all about their dog. And so they're more inclined to buy a home that if it has like things in the home that are for their dog. And I'm like, yeah, I love my dog. That's something I would do. I want that. Yeah.
It's true that people are not buying homes for the kids, they're buying a home for the backyard for the dog. It is
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Great. My good friend Michael in Philly, who's a designer, I told him when you design my kitchen later and remodel it, I better have a lot of features in that kitchen for that dog.
Yes. And
Fun.
the best part is that when you actually do offer a lot of those features for your pets, the people are actually willing to pay for those features. Like
Yeah.
oftentimes they won't be willing to pay for an upgrade for themselves, but for the Fido,
Okay.
forget it. You can get, I forgot what the statistic was, but I want to say it was at least ten to $20,000 extra in
Yeah.
revenue
I think
offers.
it's an
What
average of $20,000 is what
there you
like
go.
the boomers are willing to pay up to $20,000 for these features for their pets. As a builder, when you start thinking about these demands and what you can sell as upgrade packages to the buyers, they don't think of it as being technology driven, but it always can be. That's the best way I could say it. So like there's tracking devices that you can have for your pet. You can have like where you make sure the motions are off, but it's your pet's not impacted by it. You can have cameras so you can talk to your pet throughout the day. So just to me, anytime you start thinking of the demand of what personalization packages, like always think of how technology can help you get there because there's ways to do it. Moving on from the more production builder to more of the luxury custom and even like common areas. I just wanted to acknowledge here that a lot of people are very familiar with Elan as a full home automation system. And Elan has now been rebranded along with Speakercraft and Panamax to form nice home management solutions. People are really used to seeing the Elan symbol here. So I just wanted to have one slide here that shows that we have a bunch of different brands, a bunch of acquisitions and mergers that all happen with all these different brands. And having Nice come in and acquire Nortek has just been so amazing. Everything we've seen, the amount of resources that they've put into the people, the programs, the products, we are just seeing improvement every single day, and it's just going to get better. So everybody look out for that Nice name and be excited about what's to keep coming.
And what
Yeah.
a nice name.
It's such a good name. We're so nice. Yeah, we are. It's so fun. You'll see our nice booth at ISC or CEDIA or all these different events. It's a nice booth. Like it's a nice shirt that we're wearing. It's very fun. Yeah, so here is more of the custom solution. We make speakers, so we have nice audio. We have this great new HR40 that we've won lots of awards for as well that could control your entire home with just this one simple remote.
That's what
Uh,
I need.
one simple
Is there
remote.
a remote to control my husband and my children?
We probably could figure that out. I'm gonna see if we can figure that out. But I always say you just don't even need to leave your couch if you have this remote. You could change your music, you could change your TV, you could see who's at the door, you could talk to them.
That's
Pretty
awesome.
amazing. Yeah, it's pretty
That is
amazing.
great. Yeah, because
Yep,
it's like the story of I go to my parents' house and they literally have three remotes for the TV, and I'm like, I can't
which one
figure
do I?
out how to make this TV work.
That's so funny. Yeah. With this one, we encourage the builder to always start with a standard in every home. It just helps with the building blocks to the personalization. We see that it actually increases the take rate of the personalization packages because they already have the start of the smart home, right? So a video doorbell, smart thermostat, smart door lock, smart door opener, and we are seeing more and more smart irrigation systems being installed already. So, fun fact, when I meet with builders, I say, okay, what thermostat are you installing? Okay, great. That integrates in with our system. Okay, what garage door are you installing? Okay, awesome. So they're already installing a smart garage door, a smart thermostat, and a lot of times a smart irrigation system. So then you're like, okay, if you just add in this controller, now you have a one app solution that could be fully automated that you can have set up on schedules. And again, so the goal of not pushing a button, everything kind of works automated for you is the goal. There's no monthly fees on this one, which is just like to me, it really helps us stand out in the industry. So
Yeah, definitely. Again, that's the differentiation of doing it up front and thinking about it. It's just you don't build a house and then try to figure out on the fly how to do your plumbing or how to do your electrical
right.
system. It's something that you thought of ahead of time. You submitted plans for it ahead of time. So I think it's such a great idea that we start integrating that technology home ahead of time. Start with the plan and see like where do these things need to go in order to make it all work. And again, Michelle is here to help you guys guide you through that because I know it is an intimidating topic and it seems like technology is really moving at a speed of light. And it's so easy to get left behind and just not know, oh, it's, what worked yesterday doesn't work today.
Correct. I definitely am here to be a support system for anybody who needs it. Something a good friend of mine told me once was like, if the builder does their job well and they do add those key wires to the locations, right? Or even installs a video doorbell, for example, and then in 4 years from now, Tesla comes out with a new video doorbell. All the wiring's there. All they have to do is switch it out, right, to what they want. And it's because their home literally is future ready is a good word. We don't ever want to say future proof, but future ready.
That's what I was wondering about because if you walk into the 80s home, you always can tell that this home is from the 80s by certain like telltale signs, like some like intercom systems
Yeah,
that is like that giveaway. So you're saying it's great to have the Wi-Fi so that you can enable all of those via Wi-Fi, but the hard wiring is still important and that it should serve for hopefully next couple of decades if the wiring
absolutely.
is in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we said, it's future ready. So you can always add on different things as long as your wiring is there already. So, like a good example of that is making sure the wires are ran in case a home buyer opts in to do speakers, right? It's hard to do that later for retro. It's not easy, it's a lot more expensive. So if the builder already has the wire there ready for that homeowner, it just saves a lot of money and time for later in case they do decide to add those type of devices. So now the fun part, this is my favorite part, is talking about the personalization. So what I've seen in the more recent days is that buyers generally fall into one of three categories, and it's a healthy home, entertainment, or security. And that's what we're seeing. Somebody who's not that interested in security, but they want speakers in every room in their house. They want them outside. They want to have all of custom lighting throughout the entire house for that ambiance of it all. We actually, as a manufacturer, have created the personalization packages that we see have high take rates with the builders that we work with. And again, as you mentioned, technology is so confusing to builders and to everyone, even to buyers.
If the builders are confused, you can only imagine what the home buyers
I
are
know.
experiencing. Yeah, for sure.
That's why we try really hard to we try to simplify it. So we say, look, builders putting in this standard in every home they build. They get to now say every home I build is a smart home. What does that mean? It means that no matter where you are in the world, as long as you have internet, you could see who's at your front door. You'll never come home to a dark house again. And that would be just simply having that and maybe one smart light switch and a video doorbell. And then they could say that, right? I'm a smart home builder. This is why. Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Great marketing.
yeah, it is good marketing. And then now you have personalization packages that we've tailored to, like I said, the buyers and what the demand is. So here, for example, is we partner with Bro Newtone for healthy indoor air quality. So it works with our full home control system, nice home management solutions. And it basically will alert you that the indoor air quality has gotten bad, and then it triggers an action item after that: open fresh door traps or turn fans on, or what, one of those things, right? And then the next one would be like water mitigation. So again, we partner with some key players like Moen on this as well. So we actually make water leak sensors that you can have throughout a home even. So you could have it as simple as like you get an alert, there's water dripping someplace that shouldn't be, and you can slide the little device on your phone that says to automatically shut the water off. So
Wow.
now instead of thousands and thousands of dollars of damage, you obviously caught it quick and were able to alleviate some of that pain, some of the pain points there.
That's awesome. So a couple of things come to mind. The Braun Newton, I had a chance to present with one of the salespeople at Tech Home Builder one year, and we talked about indoor air quality. And I forgot what the number was, but it was like the indoor air quality is like several times worse than it is outside.
Oh
And he
yeah.
and he was talking about all the things that like how much pollution it generates. And one of the things, the worst thing you can have in your house are the stuffed animals. And I was like, what? And it was like a study of like how they just hold on to like all the toxins and everything. So I was like, oh, definitely washing all of those after
Wow.
or throwing them all out. And yeah, unfortunately, pets also are not the greatest for
Yeah.
air quality. But even things like when you're taking a shower and maybe you didn't run the fan and it like automatically kicks on for you. You don't have to think about that. I remember when I was selling new construction and first they came out with those automatic fans and I was convinced that my model home was haunted because once in a while the fan would just start running on its
Funny.
own. I was like, who's in the bathroom? But no, so it monitors the air quality automatically for
Yep.
you. If it needs to air it out, it automatically does it. So again, we're spending so much time inside of our homes.
You're
And
right.
if the air quality is not as good as it outside, that's definitely a problem. So now you have those smart solutions. And not to mention that these are great brand names that most consumers are already familiar with. So it will build trust when you are using those brand names in your homes and in the marketing materials. And I'm just obsessed with the idea of automatic leak detection. It's genius
It
and
is
it's going to
genius.
save so much money for people.
It was a fun little story at IBS last year. A good friend of mine, Greg Schwarzer, he's the president of HomeSphere. He is never tardy. He's the most punctual man. And he's like running up to our booth late. And he said, "Hey, I'm sorry I'm late. I had a major issue where we have a main pipe busted at my house. And I'm trying to tell my child how to shut the water off." And I'm
Oh
like, oh my
no.
gosh, step into my booth, let me show you this, and literally got to show him like you would have seen this water leak, you could have swiped and it would have shut it down, you could have did all that from here remote from Vegas, and your family wouldn't have even had to worry about it. Too
Speaking
funny.
of Vegas, who's coming to Vegas?
Whoop, whoop. I'll be there. Yeah,
Too.
please feel free to reach out to me, anybody, and I'd love to schedule a meeting with you. All right, so next fun stuff. This is a little bit more. Here's a little water leak sensor, actually. It looks like a little tiny round disc that you can literally put everywhere throughout your home, near the washer dryer, under sinks, behind the refrigerator. Here's a package that peace of mind. These are ones that we created just so that they can be like simply in a package. A home buyer can say, I want that package. And this one here, peace of mind, has a smart door lock on it. It has a smart garage door opener and then a camera in the garage. For example, you have a delivery person at your door. You could see them through the video doorbell. You ask, hey, I'm going to go ahead and open the garage for you. Please to put the package in the garage. And then you watch them on the camera. They leave. You close the garage behind them. Yeah, to avoid any.
Or hide it from husband.
Please hide it behind the, yeah, surveillance, just cameras, right? So a lot of people do want interior, exterior. So that's something obviously that we can add on to either of the packages that we or solutions, I'm sorry, that we discussed today. So whether it's for production, multifamily, custom, works with all of those.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then a little bit more of the entertainment side, music everywhere. So you can do your whole home audio with nice audio speakers throughout the home. I'm such a visual person. Like for me, when I would walk a model home and I would have music playing in a kitchen, then I would be able to be like, oh, yeah, I want that. I want to listen to music while I'm cooking, things like that. So,
So how important is it to show smart home technology in a model home?
I believe it's extremely important because of people like me who I don't visualize that well. I actually need to see it before I realize that I really want it. So when we talk about the perks of the Nice Builder program and all of the ways that we add value and we can help builders, I'll touch on that a little more. But simple answer is extremely important.
And your
Yeah. So
salespeople need to know how to use it and turn it on.
I it's that's one of the funnest parts of my job is to be able to go to a grand opening or the week before the grand opening and meet with the entire sales team. We encourage the builder to invite anyone and everyone, like whether it's just a guy who locks doors somewhere, right? Have them come. Let's talk about the smart home. Let's touch everything, play with it. We promise them that if they touch a button, a bomb is not going to go off because That's how much they don't talk about it because they're scared to touch anything. So
Right.
really familiarizing the sales teams with all of the technology in the home is very important as well. So
Absolutely.
movie time, that's just fun. You could get your surround sound. I'm a big movie person, being Kristen. The Kristen Wiig in me loves movies. Yeah, it's fun. And then here's Light It Up. So we integrate with all sorts of different lights. Again,
And we
probably,
hear about the circadian rhythm and
yeah,
all
it's
the,
important.
latest jazz about that. So yeah, you can literally sync your home to lights automatically going on, going off, dimming as the time goes off. It is crazy what is
It is.
possible these days.
And when you start to read up on the statistics of like how that's so good for your health, right?
Oh my
And
gosh,
just
yes. Seasonal depression is like a thing. I'm
yep,
dying over here. January was like the longest year
tough.
ever, right? I was like, okay, February, Groundhog said spring's coming. It snowed today. So yeah, I could definitely use some of those lights in
I
my home
know.
to
Yeah.
match that mood.
Yep. Lighting is such a unique, fun thing because it really does create a healthier home and it also entertainment or showing off. Like people have the party scenes set on their nice home touch screen. They hit the entertainment button, favorite, and the lights get super bright throughout the house and your music's on to the station that you want. Or a cooking scene is another one that I see a lot of times in homeowners' houses where just the lights in the kitchen get really bright and the speakers turn on in the kitchen. So things like that, automation.
The the
Um,
the glass of wine gets poured automatically.
that's the one thing I haven't figured out yet, but
And
I'll continue to work on it and try to.
do that.
Maybe somebody has a secret that we don't know yet and they'll share it with us. And then very exciting for us here at Nice, sunshades. So we actually make nice sunshades. They've launched. So if you want more information on that, please feel free to reach out to me. We have indoor shades, outdoor shades. They could be automated, they could be not automated. We work with the best fabric companies. So definitely reach out to us about shades. It is the hot item. It helps for energy saving purposes. It does help to create the healthy home, aesthetically pleasing. Lately, the most interest I'm getting is from multifamily builders who want front of the building to look uniform. So they're
Mm.
making sure that the shades are all going in the front windows so that they all match and they look aesthetically pleasing from the street.
Interesting.
So
And that's one thing that every single home buyer will have to buy shades when they move into the house. It's not like you bring your old shades. Typically, it doesn't match anyway or fit. So yeah, that's a great solution to offer. Get it done right away before you even move in. That's one of the pains along with the no Wi-Fi in the
you're right.
house when you first move in. There's no shades and you put the blankets and everything else, the sheets.
We do have an award-winning program at NICE for our builder program, and it really is because of all these great value adds that we provide to the builders. It's an educational thing, helping you to implement a technology standard into each home and showing you how you can profit off of the personalization packages, all while giving your buyers exactly what it is that they want. And
Yeah.
in order for that to be a successful program, we've really implemented some great features like a model home merchandising kit. As people are walking models, a smart light switch looks the same as a dumb light switch sometimes. So
Right.
we've really established some very classy, clean ways to call out some of the technology from behind the walls, right, as you would like to say. And then design center support. So many times I'll walk into a design center and I'm like, okay, like, where's your tech package? And they're like, oh, it's in the back corner and it's just a panel. And I'm like, no, that's not how we want to like show it in a design center. There should actually be some live speakers playing music.
Back in the day when I used to sell a new construction, the way my builder did it was separate meeting. It would be they would meet with the technology person and then they would go into the design center. So the two were completely separate. And what end up usually happening is they would spend way more money on the technology appointment than they expected. And then they would go into the design center and they couldn't get the flooring that they really wanted or whatever. Obviously, you see it all. What are some of the best practices? Let's talk about that, whether they
Yeah.
keep it separate or together.
Okay. Yeah. Honestly, I can tell you that I see it done both ways pretty consistently. I would even say almost 50-50. So it really is about the integrator. So your professional installation company is key, making sure that they're the ones that provide the really phenomenal white glove service to the buyer as they're moving into the home, after they're in the home. That really helps to create this successful partnership there, I would say. A lot of times builders will say, I don't want to offer it, I don't want any part of it. Just go to the integrator. He has a design center, pick out what you want through there. We are trying very hard to encourage builders to take more ownership of the tech and bring it into the design center and have the buyer discuss the technology that they want with your salespeople, just they would talk about flooring or countertops. I see it be successful in both ways though. So I don't want to knock it either way. It just really is making sure that you're partnered with the professional installation company that is elite. And that's where we, like for me at Nice, I have a national team that I work with on a daily basis. So I know who it is that's the best integrators out there and who's going to provide these builders with the most superb service that you can get. So making sure that you're connected with the right team, training when we do come out and we train the sales teams in the design center phase, I think that actually does have the higher take rates. So if we're looking at a success, I think that is the best way to do it. However, they've got to be fully trained and comfortable talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Michelle, what do you see as far as budget? So say of their entire upgrade budget, 100%, what percentage do you think is reasonable to allocate to technology upgrades of that percent?
You're asking the wrong person. I love
You say
technology.
100%, right?
I've been in the
Spend it
industry
all on
for a long
technology.
time. Yeah, it's such a personal thing. So that it is tough. I'm more of a minimalist. I don't like a lot of things usually. So I want everything behind the walls. I want no wall acne. I want to make sure that it's very clean and I'm going to pay some money for that up front. I would say 25%, let's say.
Okay.
Yeah.
25% is a good
I
number
think I
too.
would spend more, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course. I love their own devices. But yeah, I love that you guys have these packages that are so easy to offer again, so that we offer personalization in all other aspects and we show personalization in all the other aspects. We can see what the countertops look like and the flooring, but a lot of times we leave technology out of that. So actually, if builders, if you're listening and you want to show off your technology in a virtual tour, for example, let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of the, innovative ways that we can show it up front, just like we show the rest of the finishes in the home. Smart home technology should not be an afterthought, and certainly should not be an afterthought when we market our homes as well. So
Correct.
let's connect after if anybody's interested in that. I have some ideas.
That's exciting. I can't wait to see that. Yeah, and then the design centers, like we said, so I think there needs to be live product in there. People need to be able to touch it, see it, play with it. And then we also at Nice partner with Studio Chateau and Vision. So if builders are focused more on the online design centers, we've worked really hard at showing technology in a digital way that could still get people excited and for them to really understand, what that package is. So yeah, it's exciting as well. So design centers, model home gear, collateral, marketing collateral, those are all things that are options for us to support builders with launching their tech strategy as well. That's really it for me.
I hope you guys found this webinar helpful. Again, if you have any questions, what's the way to get a hold of you, Michelle? Tell us how to get in touch with you.
I'm on LinkedIn. You could connect with me there always. My email is michelle.chesnut@niceforyou.com. Feel free to email me. I'm always available. So, yep, feel free to reach out and we can connect. I'd love to connect with anybody at IBS as well.
Perfect. And yeah, you guys you don't have to be a know-it-all when it comes to smart home technology. It is a very confusing and evolving topic. And Michelle is somebody who literally works with home builders across the nation every single day to help them deliver those solutions. And whether you want to stick with standard package that again is all connected together in one single app, or you want to offer those personalization packages. We know when we offer personalization, whether it's finishes or technology, consumers tend to spend more money. So when you're targeting those different packages, depending on their preferences, that really tends to resonate with consumers, and they can always start with the package and then add on to it. It just makes it really easy, really simple for consumers to be like, oh, I'm really worried about security. So that's the one I'm going to concentrate on. And then maybe I'm going to throw in some speakers or whatever else. But it makes it simple, it makes it easy, and we want to remove all of the frustrations and confusion when it comes to making those selections. So Michelle, thank you so very much for being on our webinar today. This webinar was recorded, so I'll be sure to send it out to everybody, and please feel free to share with your friends, colleagues, send it to whoever needs to hear this, and hopefully you guys reach out to Michelle to help you set up your smart homes. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you
Thank
guys
you.
next time.
All right, have a good one.